Well, hello everybody out there in Atlanta. It's Chris from HLegacy.com with another exciting episode of My Talking Head. It's the one that I've been dreading since I heard it was coming way back in March. If you follow me on the Twitters or follow me on the YouTubes and all that other stuff, I alluded to the fact that there was a property, really two properties, but this one is the big one, that I was not keen on coming to the event this year, and that is Krampus. Now, I'm not going to, if you follow or have been following me for the past 5 years, I've been doing this will be 5 years next June. I've been doing the H&Z Legacy. I don't like to get caught up in like the hatred, the fanboy hatred, the backlash, and things like that. So I'm not going to go into that in this video because I didn't really want to do my talking head video for this because I don't like this property being at the event, and I have reasons for that, and I'm not going to go into the reasons here, but I made my reasons and my opinions full on the blog. You can go there and you can read why I don't like the property coming to the event or why it's here. There really is not, I don't, when it comes to IP properties, like, I don't really care. I don't care, you know, what the property is as long as they do it well. In this particular case, I have other reasons why I'm against this property, not just because I don't like the movie. There are plenty of properties that Horror Nights does that I don't like. I don't like the properties, whether it's The Walking Dead or whether it's Insidious or whether it's The Purge. Like, I don't care. As long as it's done well, then I have no issues with it. But I have other reasons for Krampus specifically, and you can go read those on the blog, so I'm not going to get into that now. What I will say, so we'll get into the positive aspects here, because I'm going to keep this video as positive as possible, is that there is a lot of potential for A&D to play around with this house. You have a lot of puppetry, you have the setting, you have the snow, you have Christmas. There are a lot of elements that A&D can take and run with. They may be a little bit hindered because this property is coming to the Spare Shrek Theater, so I'm not quite sure. We haven't really seen. Obviously, the last house in the Shrek Theater was Alice last year, but in terms of like these more elaborately themed houses, Alice really doesn't fit that bill. So this is like the first real property going into that location. So it's going to be interesting to see how they pull off the Krampus in that space. I don't really know, because honestly, Alice, there wasn't really anything in Alice. It was just a lot of glow paint and 3D and whatever. So I am curious. There are, especially when it comes to the puppetry, what they can do with the things like the Jack in the Box or the bear or even Krampus himself. There are a lot of things that Horror Nights, the A&D can go and take and run with and make it their own and make it good. The facade kind of, Aiello had mentioned that the facade is going to be the house, which if you look at the Hollywood side of things, they have the house already. Like, you can go and you can look at where the progression of that is over in Hollywood, because that's already been up there. But I'm not sure how elaborate they can get with the facade yet, because we haven't seen one in that location yet. So I don't know how elaborate it can be, because it is the first time that we'll have one in there, because there really wasn't a facade last year in Alice. It was just the comic book and you walked into the comic book. So in terms of the bigger picture of a facade, that jury's still out for me, because it is a newer location. So we've only had one house there. We don't know, based on a couple years worth of houses, what they can do in there. And that was kind of the way it was for the sprung tents for a while. The sprung tents, are not as elaborate as, say, a soundstage. They've turned that around in the past couple years. Back in the day when the sprung tents were first being used, every time a house would be in a sprung tent, there was a lot of groaning from the diehard H&Z fans because they knew it wasn't a sprung tent. So because we've only had one house in Alice, it's kind of one house in the Shrek Theater, which was Alice. It's kind of hard to judge, what their limitations are at this point. The future will tell. However long they keep houses in the Spare Shrek Theater. But anyway, that's kind of all I have to say about Krampus, because I don't want to get too much into why I don't like this property. I will say that this is the first property in a long time, really, in quite a while, since the Evil Dead remake, that I was really kind of against being at the event, and it was more based on the fact that I didn't like the movie and the promises that were being made by A&D about what was going to be in the house. I just knew they couldn't pull off, and they really didn't pull it off. That house for, was it 2012 or 2013, was very low on my list for the houses. I did not like Evil Dead at all. So we will see. The jury is out on that. So that's it for Krampus. Krampus is coming. Yay, Krampus, whatever. But I did want to touch upon a couple other things here. First, I want to talk a little bit about the Krampus leak, which was done by a publication. I believe the publication was based out of the UK, and they attended the Horror Nights media event that was out there across the pond, and I guess they were given a lot of information about the event, and they, for lack of a better term, blew their load early. They put out the publication before Horror Nights could officially announce that Krampus was coming. And it took Horror Nights a long time. Once that publication was out there and, you know, the house was announced, it took Horror Nights a long time to officially announce the house, you know, which was funny and weird, but it is what it is. We had another leak on Saturday, was it? This one coming directly from Universal Orlando, and that was the Universal Orlando pass holder mailer, which gave us the Scare Zone count, which is officially at 5, and also gave us the name of a house, Cobweb. Cobweb, the code name for Cobweb, will be Tomb of the Ancients, and I'll go into a little bit more detail when we get the full reveal. But Tomb of the Ancients, I've been hearing a lot about this house, a lot, since the beginning of the event. They started working on this house early because they had to get special fire, make sure that the fire codes and all that stuff was legit. They had to start early on this house, and they put a lot of effort into this house, and I cannot wait to hear more about it. I know that A&D is very excited about Tomb of the Ancients. This is like one of their babies for this year, if not the baby for this year. So I'm very looking forward to that house. But anyway, guys, that's it. There's some lighting going up in the parks now. We're getting to the point where we're gonna start seeing props go up. I think last year, like I remember, I was at Universal with a bunch of family members who'd never been there before, and they just happened to start putting up props one day in the park, and I was like, oh, around this time, I think it was the second week of August, third week of August, somewhere around there. I remember the Shady Brook Asylum bus was already parked over in New York, and they had to cover up certain words on that bus because of Rock the Universe. They didn't want to offend any of the Rock the Universe people. So it's happening. We're getting close. But anyway, guys, that's it for now. Yay, Krampus. Krampus is coming. So that's it, guys, and I will talk to you later.